Hey tribe, welcome back to my channel. Kinna Maporomaku, a personal finance expert and published author of the book You Are Not Broke, You Are Pre-Rich. So for today's video, I want to touch on how to teach your kids about money, right? As most of you know, I have two boys and I'm always trying to make them aware that things cost money, but obviously doing it in an age appropriate way that they can understand and also relate to. And I know a lot of the times parents have actually come to me and said, hey, how do we teach them about money? How do we start saving or investing for them? So today I'll be discussing how to teach your little ones about money. So for context, I have a 3-year-old turning 4, and I also have a 9-year-old turning 10. So obviously, it's different stages. The age gap is definitely there, 6-year age gap. So I'll kind of have references between the two of them and what other parents have shared, and also, of course, from reading as well. So the first thing is when you go shopping with them, let them know that there is a budget, that there isn't just a tap running that has no end. Just make them aware that, okay, you know what, if you're coming shopping with me, we are going to be spending 500 bucks, and these are the things that we are going to get. Yes, that works more for the 9-year-old versus the 3-year-old, because the 3-year-old, when he gets to the shops and, oh, I want this, I want that. But just, having that awareness for them, I think is very important. So for the 3-year-old one, we just tell them, okay, you know what? It's either you choose between this or that. And if it's a little bit more expensive because he doesn't look at the prices, I always tell him, no, that one we can't buy it right now. So just making them aware that, you know what, this is the budget, number one. So make sure that they know what the budget is for going shopping, for going out. And while you're shopping with them, and I know this seems very simple, but when you are out shopping with them, as you are putting your things, let's say you went to the grocery store, as you're putting your stuff in your basket, just ask them. One of the things I used to do, especially with the oldest one, anytime we'd go shopping, he absolutely doesn't like it anymore. If it's grocery shopping, he's not coming. But before, I used to ask him, okay, can you please, maybe let's say we're getting beans. Can you give me the beans? And before he put the beans in the trolley, I would ask him, how much does it cost? And before, used to say 60.99 or whatever that amount would be. But that just brought awareness to him that, oh, actually, when you're here, different things cost different amounts. And now, literally, whenever he does decide to come with us or we go shopping for other stuff, the first thing he does is tell you what the price of that item is. I think that is pretty cool. Um, then I think what also is important when you do go shopping with your kids, discuss with them what is a want, what is a need. I'll give you an example. Literally, this happened yesterday. So my oldest son says to me, "Oh, mommy, when you buy stuff, can you buy me Nutella?" I'm like, "My G, we don't even buy that." But he was like, "No, last year, you bought it." I said, "Yeah, that was the holidays." Yeah, long story. But then I realized that, oh, they're going on camp pretty soon. I need to write a list of the things that he needs. Then later he asked me for something else. And this is someone who doesn't ask for a lot of things, but I think it's because of the beginning of the year, there's still quite a few things that we still need to tick off our list. So I just got a bit tired with, trying to remember. I said to him, hey, I asked you last week already, in your diary, write down the things that you need. So I remembered he wanted the Nutella, then he had asked for something else. And I said, you know what? Write down in your diary your wants and your needs. And he did that. On the left side was the needs, on the right hand side was the wants. And boy, oh boy, does this boy know the difference between wants and needs. So I'll just give you an example. On the needs side, he had written that, okay, he needs a sports bag, then stuff for his upcoming camp. On the right hand side, where he had his wants, did this boy not write a whole computer, a VR? And I said, it's like, yeah, but mommy, it's not a need. I'm just saying that, when you have money, please buy me this. So I was laughing and just having a chuckle at that with his dad, that he truly understands the difference between wants and needs. And he understood that with wants, perhaps they can come later. All right. Buy them a piggy bank. Buy your children a piggy bank. Yeah, sometimes the piggy banks are not clear. I actually prefer something that's clear where they can see the money accumulating. So I don't know if you give your kids money for extra things that they help around with or for chores. I know some people don't want to incentivize or pay for chores, which I mean, that's okay. But whichever way your kids can earn money around the house, or even if they find a coin, or let's say they met a family member and a family member gave them, I don't know, $100, 20 Rand, whatever that amount is, just for them to know that it can go somewhere. There's a place for this money to go to is very important. If you don't buy a piggy bank, literally a clear mason jar. Get the clear mason jar, mark it with their name, and start putting money in there so that they can visually see money growing in there. All right. Piggy banks, I know it seems like it's old school, but trust me, that still works. Then again, parents, I know some of you, trust me, because I've done this myself before. I know some of you, rather, let me say some of us, you can see that the money's there and you're like, oh, you know what, let me go, there's no bread, let me quickly go to the garage, let me go to the filling station, the convenience store there, let me get bread. Oh, no, I don't have any money on me, let me just grab, I don't know, 20 bucks from their jar. Let's not do that, because also we're teaching them that, you know what, you can touch it whenever you want, right? And I think it goes in very nicely with the next one, making sure that they have goals for their money, savings goals, and saying, okay, this is the new year. Because normally, what I do at the beginning of the year, like most of us do actually, write down your goals and say, this is what I want to achieve in terms of my money, in terms of my investments, in terms of my health, life, and all of the other areas. My son came to me at the beginning of this year as well to show that our kids are forever observant and watching us, learning from what we do rather than what we say. He says to me, Mommy, I have 3 goals this year. And he told me his goals. And I was just so fascinated that this young man is able to articulate himself and also realize that there are things that he can work towards and achieve. And I asked him, I said, Haibo, where did you? He's like, no, I know you do your vision board and your goals. So even with me this year, these are my goals. And we spoke about them. And I said, for you to achieve them, you actually have to keep on reminding yourself. And so those are some of the things he wrote down in his diary as well. Okay. Then the next one is, when you do have that piggy bank, I think sometimes we just leave it there. When you have that piggy bank at the end of the year, because now remember, you would have bought a piggy bank and they can see their money growing. Secondly, you're not going to take money from that piggy bank. The third thing I think, or element that we normally leave out when you hear about, how to teach your kids about money, is actually taking them to the bank. I know a lot of parents have given their kids a debit card. I know we have one as well for the oldest one. The youngest one doesn't have a debit card yet. Actually, I need to get on top of that. We normally say, oh, no, there's money on your bank card. But I think kids are not getting the connection between, oh, there was physical money in my jar, now there's money in my bank account. Yes, you as a parent, if you do have the means to, you are possibly maybe depositing a bit of money into the account on a month-to-month basis, or whenever you have some extra funds. Cool. But I think it's very important for our kids to go into a bank. I think I did that 2 years ago with our oldest son. He had accumulated some money in his piggy bank, and we said, okay, today is the day we go to the bank to see how much you have in your piggy bank. We didn't have the clear one. And I think there is really something to it when they can physically see the money. But we didn't have the clear one. We had a blue one, big fat one, and took it to the bank. And I hadn't done this exercise in such a long time. So Linda, I was a little bit shocked, like, oh my goodness, actually, this is how banks work. So we get there and the cashier says, oh, okay, you're here to deposit money. He congratulates him. That was a big thing for him. The cashier said, oh my gosh, you're such a big guy. Congratulations. Your first time at the bank. Even gave him a handshake, came around. It was a really big deal. I really, really love that. And thank you so much to the guys at that bank for doing that. And then he said, okay, well, you have to put the money in this clear plastic bag, counted, because it was mostly silvers and yeah, like your 5 rands and whatnot, your coins. Then your nose, okay, put them in this order. And we did that. And he was like, Mommy, this is taking long. I said, yeah, you see, it's not just, oh, money is somewhere in on a card. So get them to the bank, let them experience. And one of the things I know I've been meaning to do now that we live in Cape Town, I don't know how we're going to do that, was to take them to the oldest bank. I think it's in the city, in Joburg somewhere, so they can take it through the history of money. If you get a chance to do that with your kids, I think that would be really, really brilliant. Okay. Then another thing, I think it ties in very well with taking them to the bank and seeing physical money. I know it's definitely easier for you as a parent to give them that tap card. That's what they used to use last year at their school. Tap card. But you load money on there, then when they are at the school tuck shop they can use that. I know it's much easier and you don't have the anxiety of them losing it, but I think there's a case to be made of giving our children physical money. Okay, number one, they realize that, oh, this thing is not just some credit or debit card. There's actually physical money that you can touch. It's tactile. It's something different, man. Then on top of that, you are teaching them responsibility that, you know what, this is something you need to take care of. And if it's a card, they know that, oh, okay, the card is lost or they will replace it or whatever. But now it's tactile and you're giving them a bigger responsibility. So please, I know, yes, it's a little bit more effort, but we can really put more effort into our kids. All right. So give them hard cash. Another thing, discuss finances freely around the house. I mean, just like yesterday, it was just a conversation. Oh, mommy, when you go to the shops, can you get me Nutella? Which I was like, no. But I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago now? Somewhere thereabout. Our financial planner came through to the house on a Saturday around 11 a.m. and my kids were playing. We sat on around the dining table and, we were talking about our financial planner. When he left, my son said to me, because I'm obviously referencing the oldest one because he's the one who can make more sense of these things. But obviously, even the small one is watching, listening, observing. So the oldest one says, Mom, who was that? I said, oh, no, that was our financial planner. And he asked me, what does a financial planner do? Why were you talking to him? And I explained to him what the financial planner does and why he was there. And he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then he continues to ask me, but I thought you did this type of stuff. I said, yeah, even though, yes, I know these things and I'm quite comfortable and well versed in personal finance and financial planning, I always feel like when you are faced with your own situation, you're not as objective. So that's why, personally, for me, I have a financial planner. And so for him, I think that was quite eye opening, and I could see that he was interested in it. But now he knows that as you get older, you too, probably you should have a financial planner, someone who's helping you with your finances. All right. Then another thing, delay gratification. Parents, let us learn to delay gratification with our kids. Even if You are someone who has the means to buy them whatever their little cute hearts desire. Learn to just say, not right now. Or let's wait until your birthday. Or that's a very special thing. How much is it going to cost? Let's wait for Christmas. You're not denying them, but you are making sure that there are people who can wait. And that is a lesson you can start teaching right now. And that lesson goes through every other area of their life. I promise you. I'll give you an example. When our son wanted a Nintendo, we could have bought it. We could have said, oh, okay, our baby wants a Nintendo. And we didn't buy it. I said to him, okay, that's a very big thing. How much is it? And he, before he asks for things now, he even actually tells me, oh no, it costs this much. And I said, okay, so if you were to wait for a year for it, how long, how much should you be saving? And we did the division, and I said, okay. I said, if you do X and Y, you can get it on your birthday. And his birthday is in June. So it was the previous year. So Christmas came, the Nintendo wasn't a present, because sometimes we tend to do that. Like, oh my gosh, he's been such a good boy. Let me give him that thing. Or another thing we don't talk about, parents, is the pressure that we feel from other parents or other kids having stuff that your child wants. There were many other kids who had their Nintendos. I said, great for them. Be able to celebrate them. Yours is coming on your birthday, on the day that we both agreed on, and we are making a budget for that and making sure that we have money for that. And lo and behold, on his birthday, he got his Nintendo. So delay gratification. It's okay. I know we want them to be like other kids, and but it's okay to just say, not right now, but we are working towards it. All right. Then another thing, start teaching them about earning money. I know I haven't gotten this one right. I'm still trying to figure out how do we actually do it. And obviously with his personality and that sort of thing. But sometimes he said, okay, before when we used to live in the complex in Joburg, he used to say, oh no, I want to sell cookies and that sort of thing, and would bake them, and he would be shy to go. But he understands that you have to earn money. And perhaps right here, that's where you can help me. How are you helping your kids realize that they can earn money, and what are some of the small things that you've started doing with them? See, helping each other. Then the last one, no, actually the second last one, start introduce them to investing. They're not too young. They are not too young. I'll give you an example. We were in the car. I was driving them to school with my sister's daughter. We lived together last year and for 2 years. And they were on their way to school. They had an ad coming through. We're listening to the radio. And my sister's daughter said, oh, if I had a credit card, I would just buy that. And remember, they are watching and consuming a lot of TV that is American based, where normally they talk about a credit card more than they do a debit card. And my son said, no, but Lulu, remember we read that book. A credit means that it's the money for the bank. It's actually not your money. So you actually want a debit card. So our kids are learning. For me, that's the most exciting thing. They are observant. These people know, can see what's happening, even if they can't vocalize it just yet. All right. They are smart. They are very, very bright. Please don't take that for granted. And so we started introducing the concept of compounding. I told him about my tax-free savings account. I told him that when he grows older, even though he does have one, I will open one for him. But we started bit by bit, and I'm showing him the movement. I'm showing him the movement of the S&P 500 on a regular basis. And he doesn't quite grasp it yet, but he knows that there's something where you invest and your money grows, okay? It'll all make sense eventually. Then the last one on teaching our kids, beautiful, beautiful human beings who can learn anything if we put effort, is you have to be a good example, mom, dad. we have to be good examples. Like I said, they are constantly observing us, they are constantly seeing our triggers and what works and what doesn't. They are really taking in and internalizing what their money personality is right now because of our own behavior. So, if you want to teach your kids about money, one of the first and best ways to do it is get your own finances together. It's actually getting your own mind around personal finance, your beliefs around personal finance together. Not being able to, not being afraid of talking about money, not being afraid to say, you know what, we are in a challenging position right now, but we're still going to make it work. And how you talk about money, you are the biggest and best or worst example your kids can have. Please hit me up. Let me know what you liked about this video. As you can see, it's a topic that I'm really passionate about because obviously I'm a mom as well and I love my kids. And one of the best ways we can give them generational wealth is financial literacy and also being good with our own finances. Let me know what you thought. Please share it with another mom, share it with another dad, share it with your partner, share it with your family members, friends who have kids as well. Or even for those who are just starting their financial journeys. I think they will appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you have not subscribed, if you're new here, you're welcome to the tribe. Please do remember to subscribe. If you've been watching my videos and you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'll appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.